Hey, I'm Adam.
I'm Bryan.
Back with another episode of Buds and Suds. And so we're lucky tonight to have a Trillium treat. This is the Streets. This is their 10% double, triple IPA that they brewed for their 4th anniversary. This one, so their first IPA was Congress Street, and then they kind of named a lot of beers after the streets in the Fort Point area. And so this is kind of like an homage to that, the Streets. It uses the same base beer, but the hops they use a quite robust hop profile here. So I've got them off the side here. Amarillo, Mosiac, Galaxy, El Dorado, Simcoe, and Nelson.
Okay. Wow, that's a big variety.
It's a grab bag. So let's see what we actually can, which one/ones jump out at us. And this one's courtesy of Rammer. He came over this weekend. We watched Halloween and had a couple beers and some pizza. And he shared one can with me and left one can. And I called him like, dude, you left the Streets. And he said, Buds and Suds, man.
Buds and Suds. I was like, what a fan.
What a fan. Thanks, Rammer. What a friend. So just pours opaque. It's peachy color. Head's gone. 10% holds that pretty well. Let's get the aroma.
All right. Oh, it smells wonderful.
Juicy.
It does smell juicy. I get a little bit of, piney, grassy maybe, but on the back end.
I get peach and kind of like a white grape. Like a grape. Do you get some of that? Maybe it's from the Nelson?
I would guess that's from the Nelson side.
Yeah, I get like this big peach hit and then maybe some white grape.
I get a hint of the white grape, I admit, but it's not the first thing I get.
Yeah, and it's not a huge robust, but it could just be those soft fruits that doesn't just jump out at you as far as the aroma.
And to me, I get mostly Mosaic, and then after
the
that,
peach
maybe
kind of those soft. Yeah. Cheers.
All right, cheers.
Cheers. Thanks, Rammer.
That's bitter.
Yeah. It's big bitterness.
What was the IBUs, or did it give it?
Didn't give it.
Okay.
It's got that nice mouthfeel, though. Mm-hmm. That big.
It's got the typical creamy mouthfeel.
Creamy with that bite on the tongue.
Yeah, that raspy on your tongue.
But I was just making fun of you for some taste, and I'm getting some taste now. Something there on the back.
I don't get anything metallic this time, thank goodness.
It's not metallic. It's just.
But I'm getting a lot of bitterness. I mean, this is a high IBU beer. That or is astringency, which I don't take it as. To me, it doesn't taste like an off flavor, so I don't think it's all IBUs.
The first sip, I was like, it was bitterness and something. It was just more bitterness, I think, because as I get into it, it doesn't taste bad. It's just big bitter kick.
I get a lot of bitterness on this one. Not a lot of sweet tropical fruit or resinous either.
No, it's kind of like very dry, like a kind of a white wine.
Yeah.
White grape, very dry, and then bitter. I mean, this big bitter kick to it. But again, it's not off-putting, not metallic, like you said.
Yeah, it's a clean bitterness, which I like. I mean, I love big bitter beers.
But you're right.
And this is one of the. I hate to be gross, but it's a really high IBU beer when you just burp that bitterness for like the next 30 to 45 minutes, and this is one of those that you're going to do that with. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that as long as it's clean bitterness, and this was pretty clean.
But I wouldn't describe this as a Northeast juice bomb at all.
No, not from the flavor.
No,
not at all. I
mean, it doesn't come off resinous.
I just get mostly bitterness.
But I get kind of this like a little bit of like it's white grape, maybe a hint of peach. I guess it's what I was getting on the aroma, but I mean it's this dry, it's this huge bitterness, white wine, just lingers there on your tongue.
I have to admit, I wasn't quite sure what to call it, but you calling it dry. I mean, I think that's a very good way to put it because
is it almost tannic to you?
Maybe a little bit, but tannin to me kind of implies astringency.
Okay. Yeah, not really. Maybe as it sits there a little bit, but not on the sip.
I'm starting to get less bitterness the more I
get accustomed to it. It always happens, yeah.
Once I get accustomed to it, I'm getting some tropical fruit. But to me, for the typical Trillium, the typical Treehouse, I just expect a lot more fruity flavor, especially from the nose.
Yeah.
I thought that's what it was going to be. So
I still
I'm a
enjoy
little
this,
disappointed.
and I'm not sure I'm overrating it. I gave it a 4 or 5 first time I had it. I'm gonna give it a 4 or 5 this time. It might be part of the name.
I'm gonna give it a 4.25. I like it.
Yeah.
I think it's good, but I wish I had less bitterness. I mean, put that many hops in it. I really wanted something to kind of shine as a predominant hop, and I feel like it's kind of muddled.
Yeah. For me, if I had to pick one, it's Nelson, I think, is what I'm getting.
On the flavor. Okay.
But again, it's not pure. It's just if I had to pick the predominant hop that I'm perceiving, it's Nelson.
Well, my guess is they weren't really going for a dominant hop, but when you use that many, unless they say, well, dry hop with this,
Galaxy did it
but
too.
you know, flavor hopped with this, then you
Yeah.
don't really know what to expect, and you kind of just expect, well, they're all going to be in there.
Yeah. I kind of go Galaxy Nelson. I kind of get that.
Okay.
That sip, I got a little bit of this kind of herbal. I think that's what I'm getting on the front. It's the peach and the, that's kind of subtle, but I'm getting this kind of a little bit herbal. It's very complex beer.
It is. I'm going to stick with 4.25.
Yeah.
I'm not disappointed. It's still a good beer. 4.25 is a good number.
Yeah.
But of the ones I've had from them, this is on the
Lower side.
a little bit lower side.
Yeah. I'm going to go 4 or 5. Happy with this. It's not like, Trillium can trade high. It's not a trade crazy number.
Yeah, don't trade up. It's worth trying.
It's worth trying, but it's not one of those crazy you must have beers. And this one's 4 weeks old. I don't know what it's like fresh, but these beers are usually hitting their stride. I know a lot of people like them super fresh, but I think still 3 to 4 weeks is a good time frame.
I think so too. I mean, for some people, they want that grassy flavor because they know that means it's extra fresh. But
one of our viewers, they said it's like they love that oiliness to it. They really dig that when it's straight off the line.
But you have to say though that can't be what they're going for, because the vast majority of the people that are drinking that beer aren't getting it straight off the line. They're not buying it and then drinking it immediately. Now, they may be drinking it fresh within a couple, 3 weeks. But if it's changing that much over 4
it should
weeks,
make it a month to 2 months.
right,
and still be
within 3 to 4 weeks after bottling or canning, it shouldn't change enough that it's a completely different beer.
Right.
It should still be. Granted, within a couple of days, I agree, it's going to be a completely different beer. But once that settles, after a couple of days, it should hit its stride, and at about 3 to 4 weeks, hopefully it's peaked, and then it starts to kind of fade off after that. So, but that's only because it's 4 weeks. That's why I'm saying it peaks.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But another good one. Again,
still good.
We still like Trillium. Or of course, we still like Trillium.
Yeah, why wouldn't we?
Yeah.
It's Trillium.
Yeah. This is the Streets from Rammer. Thank you.
Thanks, Rammer.
Try it if you can. It's still drinking delicious right now. Anything else?
No.
As always, if you can't have the beer you love the beer you have. Thanks.